Hey guys, we got this 2006 BMW 325 Xi and E90. We're going to be changing out this top windshield trim. As you can see, it's disintegrated. Very common thing that happens on these cars. So we got a new one from BMW. Part number somewhere on there. But anyhow, should be pretty simple. First thing we're going to need to do is just get this old one out of here. And from what I read, all we got to do is just basically start pulling it out. And as you can see, it's just falling apart. So it's going to come apart into pieces. And I'm going to try to not make a complete mess, but seems like it's sort of inevitable. Then we got to clean this thing out. So let's get to picking it. You can see, look how gross that is in there. And I'm sure this probably might contribute to roof rot too. It is double-sided taped on. So the tape's gonna protect it a little bit, but man, that's gotta hold a bunch of moisture in there. You can see how gross that is in there. Dirt and stuff gets up underneath of it. Not good. We're just using a trim tool and some soapy water. Okay, we got like this, it's either metal, yeah, I think it's metal. There's sort of a trim piece that cups the glass. And it looks like the rubber is molded to it, so I think that's part of that trim piece as well. I was just trying to look at this and see, and I can feel like it's rigid, so there it is there. And so you can see the glass is gonna sit in here. And then this piece kind of goes up over top by the looks of things. So it's gonna sit in there like that. And yeah, there's the double-sided tape, right? So the tape is getting stuck onto here. So yep, this big metal piece is gonna have to come out of here. And hopefully we can work it up out of the middle. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see what we gotta do here in a minute. All right, so once you get that started, it was just a matter of getting that folded up. I guess technically you could get a little section folded up and grab and yank. I just wasn't 100% sure. Like I say, the bottom of this lip, it's shaped like this, and then it goes down and it cups the glass. So I didn't want to pull up and break the glass, even though there's already a crack here, which was here before we started. But we're just, now that we've got this up and loose, we're just gonna try to wiggle it back and forth a little bit, try to get it free. There's one side, same thing over here. Get that out. Now we got the tedious task of cleaning all that mud and gross stuff that's all packed in underneath of there. We're gonna recondition everything so it's all nice and prepped and ready to go. We'll go ahead and get this new one installed. All right, we're using a valve stem in the end of a drill because I don't have one of those magic eraser wheel things, and this works pretty good. So we got to get all this double-sided tape off. Okay, so now we're just cleaning out where this new piece is going to go on, getting all the dirt and stuff out of there. This is your chance to do any prep work in case there's any spots that are maybe rusting. You want to try to put a little bit of paint on them or something like that. So I just got a clean microfiber towel, stuffing it down underneath the glass, and then we're just gonna go back and forth a whole bunch and get all the dirt out of there the best we can. All right, so everything's cleaned. We're ready to put this in. You can see where the orange is. That is where the double-sided tape is, and there's a yellow lift tab over here. So the orange is actually just a protective cover over the tape so that it doesn't stick to anything right now, but it's going to go in like this. And then these pieces too, by the way, this was slid down a little bit, so you can just literally grab it and push it back just so that you got room. And I'm going to try to just fish this thing in here, and hopefully we can get this to go in without destroying it. But I'm going to start over here where we've got room, and should just push in, I would think. That's all right. So you'll notice there's a little cutout, and that just goes and butts right up against the paint, basically right there. And yeah, you just pretty much push that thing down, and hopefully you can feel it tuck in underneath of the glass, but then you just kind of work your way along and make sure everything looks nice and smooth. And then right at the end, I guess we'll pull the strip and stick it on there. Yeah, I guess. I wonder if I gotta start that side. Like I just really want to just like hit it so bad.
A little bit of heat will help it move in smoother.
Yeah, but it's not the rubber. There's a metal track that's inside of it. And just this end piece, and it's the same thing with that other side over there, the end piece. And the rubber changes the way it's molded to the steel or the aluminum track. Keep working it along. It'll drop in. Yeah, it gets like real stiff right there. There we go. If we could only get this part over here now. And maybe, I don't know. I just can't get it to go in anymore. That's as good as it's getting. Can't really do anything more about that. All right, so now we're gonna pull the tape. This seemed to be the best way we can get it. We tried messing around with it. There's sort of a bump underneath it here where the end of this drip rail runs. This is obviously plastic, it comes up, but the way the body is molded, they have like a seam sealer in there. And we're not gonna mess around with trying to knock that down at all or anything, so. We'll see what it's like once we get this all together, but we've got our surface pretty much cleaned the best we could underneath of the tape prior to installing this. Make sure that it's as flat as it's supposed to be. Everything seems to be seated. You can see the gap between the seal here and the body. So it's not exactly perfect from side to side. So just take note of that maybe you want just a little bit of a gap. I figured it would have fit perfect, but I guess not. So now we're just gonna pull this piece out once you're satisfied with where it is. And then all you got left to do is just push this down and stick the double-sided tape to the actual roof of the car. Probably best if you're like, if it's cold, make sure the car heats up a little bit. Like maybe get a heat gun out there, something like that, just to warm it up. You don't want it to be like hot, but the warmer the better for the tape to adhere, because if it's cold, then sometimes you get moisture on the surface, and the double-sided tape doesn't usually like to stick to cold stuff, so. All right, that's pretty much it. Pretty simple thing to change, not too bad. Probably took us about an hour and a half, I'd say, messing around. If I had to do this again, it would probably be faster, but just the cleanup and prep for the new one to go in probably ate up the most time, and sort of figuring out how to get the thing out. But yeah, if you have any questions, throw them in the comments below. Give the video a thumbs up if it's helped you, and don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.